On this episode, stop letting the wake drive your ship.
This is the Holistic Alpha Male Optimization Podcast, where we help you unleash your true power as a man.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. I'm Stephen Mathis. Thank you for being here. I'm so glad that we have crossed paths somehow, some way in this human existence. Maybe it was just today, maybe it was years ago. Either way, I'm grateful that we have, and I'm grateful for you being here with me for a few minutes today. It's been another beautiful sunset in the mountains. Speaking of paths, crossing paths, changing paths, let's talk about that for a minute. One of my favorite guys to listen to and learn from is a guy by the name of Alan Watts. He was a philosopher, speaker, author. I would not hope to or try to sum up the entirety of his life with some kind of label like that. But those are some of the things that he did. He was a very wise guy, and he said a lot of things that I very deeply resonate with, and I'm sure that a lot of you guys are familiar with him as well. There was a piece of a speech that he gave, and I've heard this particular audio many times, where he talks about time. And he talks about how the way that we view time is quite different from the way that time actually is. And one of the ways that he talks about in terms of connecting with the way that time really is to close our eyes and to listen to reality through our ears. And in essence, when we do that, we hear and experience that sounds come out of seemingly nothing, and then they once again fade away into nothing. And although we see physical things and we somehow think they're different, the reality is they're exactly the same. Everything, everything around us goes through this same path where it comes out of nothing, and then it exists for a period of time, and then it goes back to nothing. And one of the things that he talks about during this particular part of the speech is he talks about the idea of a ship and the wake that it leaves behind. And the wake tells us where the ship has been in the same way that our past tells us where we've been. Our memories tell us the things we have done and the people that we've interacted with and the experiences that we've had. Our memory tells us that. That is the wake that we leave behind. But just like a ship, the wake does not drive the ship. Except for many people, it actually does. That's the thing. If I say to you the wake doesn't drive the ship, and you think about an actual ship, you recognize that obviously that is the case. That the wake is not propelling the ship forward. The engines are, and they're propelling it forward in a certain direction based on the course that is set. So we understand from a logical standpoint, and I'm sure that you understand in this moment from a logical standpoint, that the wake does not actually drive the ship. And likewise, our past does not literally drive our future. But it really does drive our future for a lot of us because we continue to identify with it and buy into it and relive it and re-experience it and re-identify with it over and over and over again. So if we go back to the ship analogy, the ship is actually going based on where the helmsman, I'm going to probably absolutely destroy some of these nautical terms because it's not my expertise, but the ship is going to go where the helmsman sets it to go. It's going to go based on that course that is set and continually adjusted, potentially, right? We have this same functionality within us. We're continually setting our course, but we in essence repeat a process where when the helmsman is saying, "Captain, where are we going?" we look back at our wake and we say, well, this is where we've been, so I guess this is where we're going to continue to go. And those are the directions that we give, and that is the course that we set. And we do that over and over and over again. Every time we feel shame or regret about something in the past, every time we identify our beliefs and our identity and our abilities with something from the past, every time we relive a trauma from the past, every time we wake up in the morning and we identify with who we were yesterday, we are letting the wake drive our ship. Now, some of that is going to happen. This is actually why we have an identity. Because if we woke up in the morning and we literally didn't let any of the wake drive the ship, we wouldn't even know who we were, right? We know who we are in the morning because we wake up and we re-identify with part of that wake, and we remember, oh, I'm Stephen, I'm whoever you are, right? Some of that is going to happen, but the reason that we get stuck in the same ways of being, including ways that are painful that we don't want to get stuck in, is because in essence, we keep looking back at the wake and saying, well, this is where I've been, this helmsman, this is where we're going, right? We do that. We don't consciously do it. It's not like you're thinking about trying to do that, or I've thought about trying to do that, but that's what we do. Every time you're reliving some experience, feeling shame or guilt or any of those things, we beat ourselves up over the same experience thousands of times. We keep identifying with ways of being and aspects of our identity and ourselves that we don't want. And it's because we're looking back and we're identifying with that stuff in the past. So stop doing that so much. Recognize that you, right now, in this moment, as you are listening to this, you drive your ship going forward. You decide. So there's a part of you that's kind of in this automatic process of giving these instructions to the helmsman, right? It's in this automatic kind of process where it looks back at your wake and says, okay, this is where we've been. This is who we have been. This is what we've been doing. Helmsman, this is where we're going. That kind of happens under the surface. If we're going to truly not let our wake drive our ship, we need to take conscious control over it. We need to take intentional control over that. We need to recognize some of the stuff that dude, whoever's job that is in our inner world, to look at our wake and say, this is where we've been, helmsman, this is where we should go. We need to recognize what he's actually doing and change it. So we need to have awareness of how and the ways that we're doing this. So the first step is listening. We got to listen and understand. Meditation and all these things, all the inner work, this helps us understand this. And then once we see the ways that our wake is driving our ship, and if you start listening and you practice awareness in your life, you will start to see this. And you will start to see that the reason that things are the way they are today is because you have continued to let the wake drive the ship. So this is how we change things. This is the fundamental difference. We often think about where we want to go, and it's great to talk about goals and visions and create, vision pages and understand and program into our being where we want to go. Very important. But equally as, if not more important, is to see how the wake is driving our ship and to change it. I guarantee we all have, and will continue to have, because this will never be a done process. This will never be work that is finished. We all have ways that our expansion is being limited right now, that we are living in this fake pretend box because we keep looking back at the wake and choosing into, yep, that's who I want to continue to be. Every time we repeat the same habit, we're re-choosing that direction. We're looking back at that wake and we're saying, yes, I want to continue to go that direction. Some of that is a very good thing, right? If part of your wake is a daily meditation habit, yeah, we want to continue that, right? It's not an all or nothing kind of deal. We've got to be able to look with discernment in our inner world and recognize, holy shit, I keep going this direction I don't want to go. And it's because there's this part of me that's looking back at this part of the wake. And it's just saying, oh, relive the whole wake. Keep going with the whole wake in the same direction. That doesn't serve us. What serves us is to look and say, okay, this part of it I like. This part of it serves me. Let's keep going that direction. This part of it, no, not so much. That needs some adjustment. The parts where you are struggling, the parts where I have struggled, the challenges that we have, this is what it really boils down to. We got to stop letting our wake drive our ship. Start choosing and living with intention in the moment and realizing that we get to be whoever we want to be right now. You do not have to continue to be the same person that you were yesterday or a week ago or a year ago or 10 minutes ago. You get to choose right now. Maybe it is an entire switch of almost everything. If that's what you want to do, that's what you get to do. You get to talk to your helmsman and say, fuck it, bro. We are completely changing directions. This is where I want to go. This is who I'm going to be. You get to make that choice at any time. We all do. But we often keep making the same choice. We let this dude, where we've been, where have we been? That's where we're going to continue to go. Let's go there. Take control. Live with intention. Stop letting your wake drive your future. Stop letting your wake drive your ship. Go kick ass. Let's get some. We'll talk to you soon.